Hello and welcome everyone to another Hayward Wright Xero tutorial. Today we are looking at importing bank transactions manually into the Xero system. So in normal circumstances we'd be using the bank feed and everything would be happening automatically in the background. But there might be an occasion where we need to manually import some transactions. Maybe a bank feed has expired and there's just missed a couple of days worth of transactions, so we need to pull that information into Xero. So as usual, we are beginning on our dashboard screen, and from here we're going to pick the bank account that we want to import our bank transactions into. So in this example, I'm going to import into the business bank account. So I'm going to hit these three little dots over here, which gives us our menu where we have an option of importing in a statement. So this is our import bank transaction screen. Xero gives us some templates that we can use to make sure that all of the information comes into Xero and is populated in the correct places. Obviously, for this to work, we need to have already accessed our online banking and downloaded those bank transactions into a CSV file. Obviously, each banks have their own way of doing it. If you need some assistance on how to export your transactions, the help guides on your own individual's bank website are really helpful for this. So I've already pulled together some bank transactions. I've taken out some of the personal information, so it's just generic information, but I'm going to show you how to import that. So this is my bank file that I have downloaded from the online banking. It gives us lots of information, the date of the transaction, the type of transaction, the sort code and the account number that this transaction is attributed to, which obviously I've blanked out for security reasons. The transaction description, this would normally be the name of the person either paying into my bank account or that I was paying out to. Again, I've just blanked that out with some random numbers for security reasons. This is a Lloyds Bank download which splits the transactions between debits and credits. So where the money is going out of the bank, it appears in the debit column, and where the money coming into the account appears in the credit column. Some banks combine that into one column. Lloyds unfortunately don't, because for the purposes of Xero and the import, we do actually need these transactions in one column. So we have to put a little Excel formula into here to get those transactions in the right format and all in one column. And what we need it to do is for the amounts coming into the bank to be a positive number and the amounts going out of the bank to be a negative number. So we use a formula to do that. So I'm going to temporarily use this column over here, and we start a formula with equals, and we want the debit amount, the amount going out of the bank, to be a minus amount. So we have a minus figure there, a minus symbol there, and then we want that cell reference of F2. Then the money coming in the bank in the credit column is a positive, so we want a plus sign, and then we want that number, that cell G2, and we hit return. That formula will give us the figures in the correct format for what Xero needs. So next I'm just going to copy that down. I'm going to copy that formula and I'm going to put that in every row against my bank transactions. There you go. And that gives me the ins and the outs from the bank in the right format. As you can see, when the money was leaving the bank, it's a minus. When it was coming into the bank, it's a positive. That's exactly how we need it for Xero. So I'm going to pop back to the Xero screen now. As I mentioned, Xero give us some excellent templates to get the right information to the right place. So I'm going to download a CSV template. That pops up down here under here. There we go. So that is the standard template. As you can see, not a lot of information do we need to put on here, which is great news, but it'll get it all into Xero in the correct format. Where there's a star next to the column description, that is a mandatory field, so we have to have something in there. So now I'm going to flick back to my downloaded file from the bank, and we've got our date information. So I'm going to select all of the information in that column. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go into my Xero template. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste. We're going to do the same amount with the amount. Now we have to be slightly different here. So remember, we need the format we needed in this format. So these are the ones I'm going to copy this time. And flick back to my Xero template. And I'm going to paste that, but this time I don't want the formula to be pasted. I actually need the number. So I need to select the values option. The final piece of information I'm going to include on my import is just the payee. So this is the person that was either paying me the money or I was paying the money out to. Obviously I've taken that away for security reasons, but I am going to copy over the information as if it was there. There we go. And that's all of the information that I'm going to import, and that's everything. That's the minimum that we need for Xero, but it'll do what I want it to do. So I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to save this to a folder where I will be able to find it shortly. And you can see it's called Statement Import Template number 1. I'm going to save that. So we've done the complicated bits now. I can jump back into Xero and get ready to do my import. So we've got everything in the right format in the file. So we're going to browse and we're going to find that file. So I'm within my folder, and there it is, Statement Import Template number 1. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click Open. So it's going to get ready to import that folder, that file for us when I hit the green import button. What it's doing here is it's asking us to double check to make sure that it's putting the correct information into the correct place within Xero. So on our template we had a column called date. That's an example of what information's in there, and we want that to go into transaction date. Absolutely correct. On the amount side, that's an example of what's in there, and we want that to be in the transaction amount. And equally the payee, that's the random number, and we want that to go into the payee. Once we're happy with all of that, we click Save. Tells us that it's imported 38 statement lines and there were none that were duplicated. That's because when Xero imports the template, it will look to see if it believes some of the information within the spreadsheet that you're trying to import it matches or is a duplicate of data which Xero already has within the system. So if it identifies duplicates, it will ignore them. Now click OK here, and that's my import done. And it takes you back to the reconciliation screen where you can begin to see those transactions that we've just imported. So you can see a date, a random number, and the amount. And it's all there for us. That's importing manually into the bank in Xero. If you need any further assistance with Xero, please contact us, mail@haywardwright.co.uk. Many thanks.